I like publicly shared that I'm 16 years sober. It was like 2 months ago, maybe. Nobody in my social circle knows this. I didn't care to share it because it was none of their business. Nobody had a problem. And early on in recovery, I learned you share when you need to.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the #1 mental health and addiction podcast, the Hopeaholics. I am your girl, Natalie Eva Marie, and these are my boys.
I'm Chad.
Hi, I'm Shane.
Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and follow us on our socials and wherever you get your podcasts.
Got a new episode dropping every Monday and Thursday. Please come check it out.
This episode is brought to you by the Infinity Group. You guys, if you or a loved one is suffering, please call us today. The number is right here on the screen. We are here for you 24/7. Now, let's get into the episode.
Nisha,
Yeah, hey.
Nisha Patel.
welcome to the Hopeaholics.
Yeah, welcome.
Yo, I almost
How was that?
did that accent.
How I know. I'm sorry. I'm from.
like, hello.
I'm from. Thank you, sir. Because you know what? I'm from Canada. And we have a very mixed race of people. We have all Eastern Europe, Indian. I've been in Dubai many times, 30, 40, 50 times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so I'm very familiar with, I'm taking you for granted now. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I apologize.
All good.
Yeah,
It's fun.
yeah.
So you can do the accent?
I can.
Yeah.
I'll sometimes imitate my mom, and she doesn't have one. So people are like, "Do your mom sound like that?" I'm like, "No, I don't know. I do that actually."
I'll tell you, I just need
I've
to say
tried,
one thing.
but-
What's amazing is her resume is so incredible, and yet she looks like she's what, 20,
Thank you.
19, 20 years old?
Yeah, she kind of gave us an idea of how old she was but in our just little talking, and I was actually shocked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she does look like she's about 20, 25.
Do you know how old I am?
No,
How old am I?
I have no clue.
Guess it.
You know what? I just went ahead and said.
I'm
I'm
40.
gonna- No.
Yeah.
Whoa,
40
good for
this
you.
past year. Yeah.
Whoa,
I
great
celebrated.
skin.
Thank you.
Unbelievable.
He's 65, so that's pretty impressive too.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Whoa.
amazing. Good for you. 40.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Wow, and very accomplished. Amazing. Yeah. Where should we start?
And on top of that, you know what? You know what's interesting?
Yeah.
That she's in recovery.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. You didn't know that?
No.
Oh.
You were just impressed about her resume.
I just got to the resume part. I like school.
Oh.
He's like, where should we start? Where did you grow up?
Yeah.
Macon, Georgia.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. I know. They produced this, guys. Macon, Georgia.
Now, let's go a generation behind. How about your mom? Where was she born?
My parents both were born in India.
Okay.
And then we're in Canada.
Where?
Wait, what?
Mississauga.
Wow. So in Ontario.
Ontario.
Wow. I did a few bad things in Mississauga.
You might know my. No.
Do you know any Patels?
Not in that state of mind. Not in that state of mind. I didn't know very
Might
many.
know what.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
So
it was just
you're-
odd going India to Georgia.
Yeah.
So I can see going to Canada, then an opportunity in Georgia it comes up, and you guys end up in Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that actually is kind of what. So did your parents went to Canada
Yeah.
and then to America? Mm-hmm. They didn't. Did they become Canadian?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they did that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they were Canadian. I have dual citizenship.
Do you have the
Well,
Canadian accent there? You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're talking about.
Oh,
I don't
I'd
have
like
it,
to. Oh, I do.
Your family does really bad.
Oh,
Your brother?
you're darn right. They have it bad. Yeah.
Both my siblings were born in Canada. I'm the only one
nice.
born here.
Okay.
Wow.
It's funny. We're all. I have. My dad is Canadian, American immigrant.
Okay.
Canadian.
Yeah,
Can
he
you be a
is.
Canadian?
You-
I say this every
you
time I
can be.
talk about
Yes.
my dad, but my dad is a Canadian immigrant,
He's an immigrant. Yeah.
and Shane is a Canadian
Yes.
immigrant.
Yeah.
He had to call me when he was taking his American test. He asked the guy.
I called
could,
after.
Could I phone a friend?
He didn't let me.
Darn it.
I failed the first time.
You want to know what the question
Oh
was?
Lord! Don't.
Oh,
Oh,
what was it?
Lord!
What is the first three letters of the Constitution? Not letters, words.
Words.
First 3 words.
I think I'm not still sure. Is it We the People?
Yes.
Okay. See, I got it right again. Whoa.
It's We the People.
And it's amazing because when I walked into the test the second time, the guy remembered me because there's not very many, let's say, Caucasians and walk in there.
Yeah, and that fail.
That fail. And I walked out. And,
I think my grandmother passed on the first time, and she doesn't speak
yeah, anyways,
English.
so he told me just focus on the first 7 questions. And he winked. And I said, what? He said, yeah, the first 7. Thank you. You know what I mean? That's all I did.
Yeah.
You just sat down.
I got 4 out of 7. I passed.
4 out of 7.
Congratulations.
You know what I'm saying?
Pass fail.
Yeah,
Grade
pass.
doesn't matter.
Like one more question wrong and he would have failed a second time.
Yeah. I live on the edge.
So you
Isn't
passed
that where
with
the-
you passed with a 62%.
62. Well, it's in Canada, it's a 50 with a red circle around it. Yeah.
Do you have a certain amount of times you can fail?
No, I think
I don't
you should
think
go
that
keep-
matters,
keep-
right?
They say keep coming back, just like
Just like
AA.
Like a-
yeah. Yeah. Well, enough about me.
Yeah, enough about
Yeah.
you.
Holy smokes!
We learned so much.
I know.
Or I learned
know.
so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, tell us, how was your childhood?
Oh, it was interesting. It was very chaotic. So my parents own a business in Macon, and my dad always wanted to give us the best education. So we went to the private school there. So, but all the other kids lived in a different area of town. So we were always different, different growing up. I also played sports, which culturally there weren't many Indian kids playing sports either. Both my siblings did as well. So there was always this thing of we're different, I'm different, right? And a lot of the kids, I mean, they had money. It was easier. They had both parents. One stayed at home, one worked. My parents owned a business. They worked there. I worked there. I could run a motel by the time I was, 12, 13 years old. I mean, that's just what we did. So it was very different for me.
We could have switched bodies. I grew up in something called the Canada House. My grandparents were immigrants from Europe, and that's what they did when they bought here. They came here and bought a hotel, built it up, and yeah, identical.
Do you know how to run a hotel?
Here down on the right side, dude. We had the phone department. The phone company was downstairs. You know when they used to have the wires?
Yeah.
And the switchboard for the phone company was downstairs of our hotel, and they used to have an office down there. It's like AT&T or something. Yeah, man, it's the same thing. That was the immigrant way.
It was, yeah.
Yeah,
But it provided us.
100%. 100%.
Well, what did your parents do in Canada before they came to America? Do you know?
That's a good question. I know my dad worked. No. They both worked.
Yeah.
Not sure where exactly, though.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So they still have the hotel? Mm-hmm. It's a family business?
Yeah.
Do they still work at the hotel?
Oh, they do. I mean, I want them to sell it, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
What about high school? How was that?
High school was fun, a lot of fun. A lot of independence blossomed there. So for me, my high school years were, I was just talking about this with some family. My 9th grade year, my parents did not live with me. They were like in and out. They were just busy. They were going to get another business. And so they were just I parented myself a little bit. But I went to school. I played soccer competitively, so that kept me really busy. But I think that's probably when I started partying. That's like when the drinking started happening. And then my 10th grade year, they fully lived in Atlanta when I lived in Macon. I know. But I was a responsible kid, even though I liked to have fun. I did the things I knew I was supposed to do. Then we flopped. I moved to Atlanta, and they moved to Macon, moved back. And then by that time, partying was fun. My friends were doing it. My best friend hosted all the parties, so it was easy because I could just be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go stay at my friend's house. And they're like, yeah. They had no idea. They had no idea what was going on. My dad probably knew a smidge, but he just was like, she'll be all right.
How were your grades?
Oh, I struggled in school. In grade school, I struggled a lot. So I fell behind early just because of the chaos at home. So I always felt like I was stupid. Like I was like, something's wrong with me. Like why am I not able to learn like other kids? My parents were told to get me tested, never did. They're like, she's fine. Her siblings went through school. Teachers would get me after getting my siblings and be like, what is wrong with her? I was just hyper. I talked a lot, and I was just, I was a busybody. So it was difficult. And then I remember when I graduated high school, I got into a good college. I got into Mercer, went to business school. I wanted to be a teacher, but again, my parents were like, they don't make that much. Why don't you just go to business school until you figure it out? My mom swore I was going to be a lawyer because I argue so well.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. But my sister pulled me aside after graduation, I remember, and she goes, I'm going to tell you something. And I was like, what? She's like, you're not stupid. And I was like, what? She goes, you just learned how to read late. That's why. And I was like, you tell me that now. She's like, yeah, so now you're in college. You're at the same playing field as everybody. Don't fuck up. And I was like, okay, sure. Whatever that means. But college was a lot easier. I loved business school, like you're saying your son.
Yeah.
I had to take marketing and management my second semester. As a freshman, those are sophomore classes. And I did so well. I mean, the creativity with marketing, I immediately was attracted to it. And so studying wasn't as difficult. I did teach myself how to study. Like I used different colored pens, and I would like make all my notes like so I can memorize them, right? And keep myself interested. So I learned how to pretty much train my brain to stay engaged on my own because otherwise it wouldn't. I get bored.
Yeah. I
Lose
feel you.
focus.
I get bored all the time.
Yeah.
This dude right here, attention span.
I feel like a bird.
Yeah.
So where
Squirrel.
did you just get lost?
Looking for a worm. Well, what I was thinking was this. I was going to do a rant, and she hit on kind of my rant, and my rant was this. For me, school, let's call it a loss, because it's kind of a headache. You know, but you made it fun. You turned it into something special. You made it colorful. Mm-hmm. You made it creative. You made it good for you. And you made it something that you could excel at and enjoyable. And that's the trick in life, because in life, I mean, let's face it, most of us have more losses than we do wins. That's just human nature. If you keep trying on a daily basis, you're going to fail. Let's call it learn. You're going to learn, but if you don't learn, you're just failing in life all the time, which is a waste of your life.
Yeah, it is, and that's where people get stuck in levels. I'm one of those believers of life levels, right? There's so many different levels to life, and and you can get stuck at a level by repeating the same losses over and over again, repeating the same mistakes.
That's it.
That's how you learn the lesson.
And yes, that is how you level up. You have to learn that lesson that life is trying to teach you, and then you get to go to the next level.
Next problem.
Yep.
More or less.
I mean, there's a saying: every level there's a new devil.
Yeah.
Right. So
Bingo.
You've got to conquer that
100%.
devil, and the devil that you're conquering is the demons or
yourself.
Yes,
that's what I was. That
it.
was my rant.
And it seems to me, from what Shane is saying, you taught yourself. I'm going to assume by all of this that you have ADHD.
Yes, I do. You're right.
Yeah.
100%.
Which I do as well. I don't know.
So do I.
I don't really have the H, but I definitely have attention deficit disorder. You know, I'll squirrel off onto stuff, but I was never the kid climbing the walls, or, you know, I didn't talk a lot.
Licking glass. You never lick glass?
No.
I did.
Ritalin.
So,
They never
No,
gave
my
me
mom
any of
wouldn't
that.
allow any of that stuff. She said, no, my mom was a zero medication kind of girl.
yeah. I mean,
Zero
same here.
meds,
Mine
yeah.
wouldn't even acknowledge it, right?
No.
And I was
No.
hyper. Like,
Not at
for a
all,
girl,
yeah.
that's not common. I
Yeah.
think that's the thing, is it gets underlooked a lot.
Yeah.
Because also we're very good at compartmentalizing. So I can look the part. People are like, really? ADHD, but you seem so calm. And I was like, yeah, because I'm good at looking a certain way.
Yeah.
When the insides don't match.
Oh yeah,
Right? I'm good
my
at
insides still don't match.
that. I'm a pro.
I can look calm, but man,
Yeah.
there's some anxiety and craziness going on inside.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but also, let's face it, in the Indian culture, it's very peaceful. You are, you know what I mean? Like, you're,
You lost for words?
No, not really. I want to be gentle and say it nicely. What is the export in India?
Love.
Love. Exactly. Because it's people.
Yeah.
It's a service industry.
Yeah.
So the culture for me, when I see an Indian person, I feel warm. I feel they're gentle. I feel
Loving. They're
yes,
loving.
I feel
loving
they're
people.
Yeah.
That is how, at least that's how I see it.
That's how I feel.
That is so amazing for me to
Isn't
hear.
that weird?
I'm so critical. I'm like, that's why I made that face. I was like, what are you talking about?
Okay, yeah, that's how I feel.
Because I think I was like the outsider of the people.
Yeah.
Like, it's so interesting for me, even growing up, I had most American friends.
Yeah.
But it was like the Indian kids, even at college, like the way they labeled me, I was sorority girl Nisha and I was white girl Nisha. And like, I was like, because I didn't just hang out with Indian people and I was never raised like that. Yeah. So, you know what? If you're a good person, you're a good human being. I don't care what you look like.
Yeah, true. You're right. You're right.
But no, this is great. I'm so glad that you guys said that because it gives me a different perspective of maybe I shouldn't be so harsh because it's probably my experiences that have like jaded my thinking towards my people.
You're
right.
My own.
Your own culture.
Yes. Absolutely.
I'm jaded bad towards my culture. Man, we got some dumb people.
What's the stigma in your culture with alcohol and drug abuse? I know you're saying your parents were kind of clueless. I've also heard the same thing from another friend that their parents just had no idea they were Indian in that household and was kind of just not really aware. Like,
you know, the best way I'll explain it is I think people know, right? And usually it was a male dominant thing. It'd be something that the dads do, the males do. But now younger generations, it's hitting both males and females. I think the things that our parents probably got away with, they're not getting away with anymore. There's more rules, regulations. People are working for corporations, more responsibilities. Mental health is just starting to get talked about in our culture. I mean, just starting to get acknowledged. Wow. And for me, one of my friends said this. So recently I like publicly shared that I'm 16 years sober. It was like 2 months ago, maybe. Nobody in my social circle knows this. I didn't care to share it because it was none of their business. Nobody had a problem. And early on in recovery, I learned you share when you need to. Yeah. Or if there's purpose behind it. Yeah. That's it. So one of my friends is like, I've never known you drinking. I never thought to ask you why not. And I was like, yeah. She's like, but I want to know more. And I was like, okay, well, ask whatever you want. And then she goes, I mean, you're really brave because we're just talking about mental health and like anxiety and depression. And you just like kick the fucking door open with addiction. And I was like, well, it's Nisha fashion, but we're dying and suffering. Like the amount of males that I'm hearing that like between 40 and 50, they're like, oh, he just had a heart problem and passed away. I'm like, no, that doesn't feel right. And, you know, it doesn't feel right in too many of them. Yeah. So then what do we do? Why are we all keeling over? Like what's happening? So it's still really...
Sounds like your purpose was validated a little bit.
It has been. Yeah. I mean, it was scary to do that. But I think it also helps that, you know, I told my family about it. We're all very close. And a lot of me hesitating on sharing is like, they're still involved in the community. My parents are, you know, siblings live their lives and it affects everybody. And whether or not we want to say it, people still judge it. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
They definitely do. But that's why we're here. Yeah. That's why the Hopeaholics are here, because now I was fortunate that when I got sober, I got into an industry where it was great that I was in recovery. So I've always talked about my recovery. You can find videos, YouTube videos of me from 22 years ago telling my story. Yeah. Because I was helping people get sober. But today, you know, we joined. I didn't start this movement, but I jumped on the bandwagon of this movement, and I feel like jumped on pretty early because it was kind of a California thing 18 months ago, right? Recover Out Loud. Mm-hmm. You know, we no longer are anonymous because we have to break this stigma.
Exactly.
We have to break the stigma because too many people are dying from this disease. So if we continue to be anonymous, people aren't going to know. And it amazes me. It amazes me. Because I walked into Narcotics Anonymous on December 28th of 1996 was the first Narcotics Anonymous, and I had never heard of it before. I didn't know recovery existed. I was a 22-year-old kid, and I walked into the rooms, and somebody handed me the leader thing, and I did it, and I became a member of Narcotics Anonymous. I haven't been sober the whole time, but that was my introduction. And it amazes me that we're in 2024, and there are 22-year-old kids, there's 50-year-old people, there's 30-year-old people that don't know that recovery exists,
Right.
that it's a thing. And, you know, there's a fentanyl crisis going on. I lost my son-in-law. He's lost tons of friends. We've lost friends, good friends, people that were on this podcast.
Yeah.
Have died from this disease. And, you know, we made a decision. Let's do this, man. Let's join this movement. Let's talk about it. Let's let everybody know that it's okay. You know, and if people want to stay anonymous, that's fine. There'll be those people that want to. They can, and they can do that. And I respect that 110%. But I wouldn't respect them not respecting the fact that we must recover out loud now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that there's also just too much out there. I think when you got sober, when I got sober, there was a method, there's a way to do it, right? And I think there's a lot of options now. There's so much gray area that I feel like, for me specifically, what led me to finally going, you know what, I'm going to share out loud is, you know, and I'm so grateful for the Sober Curious movement. Great, let's get curious. Like, my whole journey, you know, after I got removed from alcohol has been remaining curious to my growth and my alignment and my purpose, right? But it's people that are almost leading the blind, right? And I was like, whoa, hold on, God. Like, you gave me a path that I walked. Like, it's my duty to, like, share now because I've done it successfully. It would not be of anyone's benefit or help if I did not. And being woman. And I think it's being female. And it's tricky because we can look one way and trick ourselves into, oh, it's not that bad. Mm-hmm. Right? And it doesn't matter what substance it is, whatever your thing is, what behavior it is. It's what's happening to you underneath when you do this thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And suffering in silence. And I want everybody, women, men, to know you don't have to suffer in silence. Like, there are people that have done it. They can help you get better. You just have to be open to it.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, somebody's got to share. Someone's got to share the wisdom and knowledge learned along the way.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can't wait for them to show up at the doors of Alcoholics Anonymous, because unfortunately, with today's market of drugs, not only are people dying, but the drugs are much more powerful. There's much more mental health issues coming. You know, whether it's the chicken before the egg, whether the mental health issues are coming before, but they're there.
Yeah, 100%.
I can tell you 100% in the 22 years that I've worked in this industry that the people that are coming through my doors are sicker than the people that were coming through my doors 20 years ago. And that, when I say sicker, I mean their mental health issues are way further progressed. You know, we can talk a lot about reasons why. Some of it's the drugs, but a lot of it's the food.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of it's the you know, we around here are real firm believers in, like, what you put in your entire body, not just through your pie. They call this a pie hole. Yeah, a pie hole.
Yeah.
Not just through your pie hole.
Shut your
I wanted
pie
to
hole.
shut your pie hole.
Can we bring that back? Like, can we bring that? Emily,
I'm down.
Emily, Lewis, can we bring shut your pie hole back?
Oh.
Anybody say that in your guys' world?
They're like,
I want you
what does that
guys-
even
They've
mean?
never heard that.
They're like, what does that mean?
It means shut your mouth. I really like that.
Yeah,
one.
that's
That was such a good one. Like, my brother used to always tell me to shut my pie hole.
It's a good one.
Anyways, where was I? Oh, okay. Food. It's not just the pie hole. It's what you put in your ears.
In your mind. Yeah.
It's what you put in your eyes. All of that stuff. It's even smells. You know, if you're like smelling shit all the time, you're going to be thinking about shit all the time.
Absolutely.
You know, it makes a difference. And we put a lot of junk in our body today. I mean, you're a therapist.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy that a child's attention span is 2 seconds? A teenager's attention span is, if I can't capture you in 2 seconds on social media, you swipe.
It's crazy to see the difference, right? In the abilities of focus just because of that. It's sitting with my daughters watching regular TV for traveling. They're like, what's this commercial thing? Can you fast forward? And on purpose, I'm like, no, sit there. And they're just like, what? I'm like, sit there.
Yeah.
Sit there and wait.
Commercials.
Yeah, exactly. See?
Those were fun.
I love commercials. Good commercials are funny.
The beauty of waiting. They don't know how. Everything is just instant. Amazon today, tomorrow. Wait, we have to wait 3 days. What?
I
But
mean,
it's
I
we're
love the
doing
fact
it.
that sometimes I'm on Amazon and it's like 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm like, I can buy this and have this in a few hours. It's got a today delivery. Like, how is that even possible?
But then it leads to overconsumption of everything and anything. That instant gratification.
Yeah.
Right? And also that, again, long term, right? Mental health. I want to feel better now, immediately. So lower tolerance for feelings of anger, sadness, whatever that may be. And now that they have phones at younger ages, well, there you go right there. Then we have phone addictions.
Yeah.
That stops working. Oh, then we're going to try substance.
We're not getting rid of the mental health. It's just going to get worse and worse because technology is getting better and better, and things are going to get faster and faster, and people are going to be more fucked up.
We're imploding our brains.
And that's
We are
exactly what we're doing.
imploding
So
our
what the
brains.
government has to do is they have to introduce a new drug to get rid of fentanyl that doesn't kill people but still makes them feel better. It's as simple as that. And then the government controls those outlets, makes millions of fucking dollars, fixes the streets, and puts these people into treatment. There's no other way to do it, in my opinion.
There might be another way, but that might be their evil plan. That sounds more like an evil
Right,
plan of
Really? Well,
yeah,
it was one of mine.
This is how you take over the world because
you get rid of the fentanyl by introducing.
not even getting rid of the fentanyl, because like the whole producing, allowing fentanyl onto our streets
Exactly.
in the amounts that
Yes.
it is,
And not talking about it.
is an evil. That's the thing. Because think about this. He just said it right there. 300 people. This is what we all talk about all the time. 300 people are dying every single day from fentanyl. That is a jumbo jet crashing out of the sky. If a jumbo jet crashed today, every single one of us would know that a jumbo jet crashed in America today. And that would only be 300 people dead, 270, you know? But, and if it happened again tomorrow, they would be like, we better ground all flights.
Right.
Exactly.
And me as a citizen, as an American, I'd be like, yeah, I think I'm going to cancel my trip for tomorrow because 2 planes just went down.
Right. I'm going to drive instead.
Yeah. We would do that.
Yeah.
So back to your evil plan.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one, though.
I can't imagine what can get worse than fentanyl.
No, you can't, bro. But here's the thing. If you could give something that people are not going to die yet, they're going to feel okay. And just be numbed out, because we're not going to get those people back. I mean, their mental health is on the rise. And for me, that's just how...
That sounds very...
that's where it's going.
No.
Where's...
What's the opposite? What is it? Is pessimistic?
Pessimistic.
Yeah,
But
sounds pessimistic.
shouldn't we start teaching earlier, though? Like, this is it, right? So
Yeah, but
mental
how
health
do
is
you with 50% divorce rate?
understandable.
You
but
can't.
You can't. School
can't.
systems are going to have to start, like...
Schools can't. They're not even doing no Canada or God Bless America anymore. There's no religion in schools.
I know.
It's gone. I mean, that's the crux of getting better is religion. That's the whole.
I am so that's
the whole beginning.
opposite spectrum of
Interesting.
him.
That's the whole beginning point
this.
of life is God, isn't it?
Doomsday is here already.
No, but you're saying
there is
instead
no
of
help,
creating-
no
And yet,
solution.
no, there is.
Instead of creating something else to give them instant relief and numbing,
Yeah.
right?
I think the one
it's going to take longer. It is going to start teaching these kids at younger ages. How do we regulate our emotions?
Is that the mom working or the dad working? Which one's going to be there to do it, or the nanny? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's tough.
Both.
Bro.
Fuck, I do it.
I know.
And we should be teaching our teachers how to teach that stuff.
100%.
I've gone into my daughter's
Should be mandatory.
I've gone into my daughter's classroom last year.
I agree.
Good example.
See, there you go.
These kids, you guys, first graders, I was like, ooh, or second graders. I'm either going to bomb and they're going to look at me and be like, this lady's crazy, or they're going to love it.
Yeah.
I went in and I said, do y'all know why I'm here today? It's like, teach us about emotions and and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to start this way. What questions do you guys have for me? Boy raised his hand. I want to learn how not to be angry. Okay. Girl, I want to learn how not to be so sad all the time. Like if I'm sad, like what should I do? They had better questions than adults, you guys. And then I taught them some skills. Hey, you know what? Push against the wall instead of throwing something at home and scream as loud as you can, right? For the boys. Another one was stick your head in the freezer and take really big, deep breaths when you start getting upset, and you're going to calm down. Box breathing. And then forward 6 months later, I meet this mom at gymnastics or something. She's like, oh, you're so-and-so's mom. I heard that you came to my son's classroom. I said, yeah. And he wanted to come say hi to me. So I was like, hey, buddy. She's like, do you remember anything that she taught you? This boy said 4 skills that he uses that I taught him.
That's amazing.
Kids are sponges. They want to feel better. Like, how many times do they get told, stop doing this, stop doing... They don't know how. We're not teaching them how to regulate their emotions. We're just telling them to do it magically. And they get frustrated.
Yeah, I don't think that you know, I do agree mental health is on the rise, addiction is on the rise, but that's where you start. You have to start there with children. They need to, somebody has to start there. You know, I'm on the front lines of actually like fighting the addiction.
Yes.
But everybody needs to have some hope that, you know, they can get through this little problem. Even like children, they need some hope that this too shall pass. This feeling that I'm having right now isn't going to last forever. Because when you don't know that, when you're a child and you're having like and you think that it is doomsday and this feeling isn't going to go away, and I don't know. And then you learn over time as you get older that a feeling is just a feeling, and it's like, oh, that's wow, it's okay to be angry right now, or sad, or embarrassed, or whatever. Let me just feel this for a little bit, and I know that whatever feeling I'm feeling is going to go away. Mm-hmm. You know, and I also think it's important. This is me, because I don't believe feelings are positive or negative. A feeling is just a feeling. Us as human beings have put negative and positive connotations on them. We are meant to feel all of our feelings. Mm-hmm. Some of them are uncomfortable because we have never learned how to feel that feeling. Like for me, I always would run from embarrassment or rejection. Oh, rejection.
Oh, that's a big one.
Man.
Yes.
No. And you know what I did instead of rejection? I wouldn't ask that girl for her phone number because I was too scared of the rejection that I would feel, because that would be a feeling that I'd never be able. And guess what happened? I didn't have any growth in myself for all of those years. Mm-hmm. And I still struggle with it today, like with being assertive and asking for what I want and or need. So anyways, back to that. We start teaching people there is hope. I believe there is hope.
Absolutely.
We do need to get fentanyl off the streets.
Yes.
We don't need to replace it with anything else. If they're going to replace it with something, just put heroin back out on the streets, because drug addiction is, you know, it's a thing. But I can tell you a fraction of people were dying from heroin as they are.
Imagine a society where please bring the heroin back is actually going to help.
Yeah.
That's insane.
How sad is that?
That's sad.
To even have to say that.
Yeah.
But that is it. Truly, how I feel. put heroin back on the streets, get rid of
I feel the same way.
Get rid of the fentanyl. Heroin's way scarier to people. But fentanyl is 50 times more power. Is it 50 or is it 10? I like to say 50. It sounds so much.
powerful.
It's definitely 50.
50 times more powerful than
Car fentanyl's 100.
100 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bro, we write a proposal. We call it the loop because you're just going through it over and over again. The new drug is called the loop. We write a proposal to the government. We say, hey, let's just make this. We get a scientist. Boom, we're in. Millions of dollars, saving lives.
Nisha, we need a one-on-one session with Shane after this.
The loop.
The loop.
So really quick, I
Luke,
want to go back to your kind of personal story, though. I want to know, when did your alcoholism get out of control?
It would be post-college for me, and it was an internal thing. I did the geographical change. If I check the boxes, I'm going to feel good enough. My internal will feel good, right? And so it's like, graduated, got a job, living on my own. I still wasn't feeling good. Then I had more time by myself, so I was bored. So it's like, oh, well, when I'm cooking, I'll have something to drink. Like, I just rationalized it. But then I started making decisions that I was not proud of. And it just kept piling up. And it was literally those moments of like, wow, I am so off balance that I don't even know who the fuck I am. But I know this is not who I'm supposed to be. I've always had a really big connection with God. Like, I watched my mom pray just so consistently growing up, but she never shoved it on us. But I think watching her faith and stuff she went through built my faith. And so I'd pray and pray and pray. And I was like, okay, I don't want to live this life, but this is not what I'm meant to do. And then I just got to the point, and then I was telling you earlier, I called my dad. And my dad and I are really close. He's a rebel at heart too. So he gets me. And I was like, hey, Dad, I need some help. And he's like, okay. And I just tell him, I was like, I've been drinking. I don't think it's healthy. And he was like, oh, okay. And he's a little old school. And he's like, you just got to get closer to God. Pray to God. And I was like, Dad, I prayed to God. And he told me to call you. So here we are. And crickets, but he's turning. It was new for my whole family. But like you were saying, culturally unheard of. Now, they've had experience with it, but no one ever openly talked about it.
Yeah.
Especially not a female. So.
Wow.
How is it in your culture? Do moms drink wine? Do they drink? That is a thing?
Party like rock stars.
But you don't admit you have a problem.
No.
And
because you look the part. You got the house, you got the cars, you got the money. So life can't be that bad.
Yeah.
Your problem can't be that bad, guys, if you have all these things.
yeah.
Right? We make a mistake, forget about it, or if everybody justifies it too, if it's a cultural thing, or if it's just, think about party life. Like you stumble. Oh, well, everybody stumbles. It's fine. Just keep going.
Yep.
It's the same thing. Right? And so, but internally, I think that's what no one shares about, right? Feeling so unaligned with oneself, suffering in silence, not feeling good enough, maybe. Having unwanted sadness or anxiety, whatever it may be. Unhealed trauma.
I thought she was going to say having unwanted sex.
Oh, shit.
That's
trauma.
Because that does happen under the influence of drugs
I
or
didn't.
alcohol.
I was just listening. I didn't think that.
You're thinking about the loop, don't lie.
I was still thinking.
He's still, yeah.
He's still planning the loop
I
out.
know. I feel it.
I just need a scientist, bro. That's all I need, and I got some.
As my clients say, you're like magic. You just know what they're thinking. Like, I'm magic. I know the loop over there.
All right, I'm back.
But yes, I think that's what everybody's going to relate to. I think culturally or just in general.
Yeah.
No one's going to be like, yeah, I agree with Nisha and I overspend or I overindulge or I smoke too much. No,
because if it's really not affecting you internally, or if it's only affecting you internally this much, it really goes with the saying that I always say: when the pain of remaining the same outweighs the fear of change, then we will surely let go. Right? That's from the Narcotics Anonymous.
And I love that, but I'm going to be a devil's advocate again, bro.
You can't really be a devil's advocate to that.
Here's how I can try to turn it. A lot of people are not wanting to improve. Society has made it okay to be not okay. They're making it even more okay to be not okay. They're making it confusing on who you should be or who you shouldn't be. So it's
I don't really care what they are doing. You need to check in with yourself.
But that's
The
where
self.
people are losing themselves because
But
of the computer and the online stuff.
That's why this stuff is so important
Exactly.
that we're doing.
Exactly.
This stuff is so important to remind
100%.
people to check in with themselves.
Yes.
Because there are functioning. I wasn't functional. I was not a functional addict.
Yeah, but you were a
Like,
you were a teleporter.
I was, I mean, I worked for I got to do air quotes because then everybody thinks I really worked for the CIA if I don't do the air quotes. But I worked for the CIA in meth-induced psychosis, often doing missions, transporting and teleporting myself to, war zones and killing people. That's what I did. I have to do the air quotes, otherwise, otherwise the CIA gets upset.
We've had calls.
What was my point?
Sorry,
though?
Chad. So sorry.
Oh,
They get upset.
Chad's not here
We
today.
digress. Then we digress.
Yeah.
Pretty bird.
that happens.
Yeah, pretty bird.
Way to go, pretty bird.
That's funny.
But there's so many people that are. I wasn't functional. There's people that are functional, and the substances keep you sometimes from checking in with yourself. But everybody has those moments. Just there's a moment of like pain or suffering where you're like, I don't like the way I feel. And if people like us can get in there at that very moment,
Yeah.
that is when change happens, because you only have windows of time before somebody, either whatever their coping mechanism is to deal with that trauma,
Yeah.
pain, suffering, all mental health issues. You don't have long.
You don't.
It could be drug. If it's drugs, it's sometimes people have a 4-hour window and then the connection shows up. I mean, we deal with that all the time. We get people into treatment as like our day job, right? That's what we do. And when they call us, they're ready to go sometimes. 2 hours later, after the assessment's done, we can't find them.
You've lost them
Right.
for 3 more years.
Yeah, because Chewy showed up. I don't know if you guys know what Chewy is, but Chewy.
Oh, I know Chewy.
Chewy sells heroin usually. Probably sells fentanyl now, but and carfentanil. He also sells meth.
He also sells loop.
Yeah. Who else? There's a Chewy.
The loop.
There's what do they call?
Oh, what are their names?
Yeah. The skinny guys. What do they call the Hispanic skinny guys?
Flacco.
Flacco.
Oh my god, I'm learning so much, you guys. This is amazing.
These are drug dealers.
I got that. So I got that part, but I'm learning about them.
But do you see what I'm saying?
No, I 100% see what you're saying. I think the window is so tiny because also environment teaches. It's fine. It's okay. It wasn't that bad. And when you internally are like, no, it's bad, but then someone convinces you it's not that bad, and you don't have a sense of self and alignment, you're going to get lost with whatever bullshit you're being told.
Yeah.
Same thing with early sobriety, early recovery, whatever it may be. There's so much out there where people can get lost in all sorts of different directions. And so, yeah, to your point, it's like we have to talk about it out loud.
Yes.
And how do you get in? How do you stay sober, right? A lot of people are like, 16 years, like, how did you do that? Like marriage, whatever, 30, 40, 2 children. But the key was, once I got aligned with myself, it no longer was a decision. The substance wasn't a decision because that was just not of interest anymore.
Yes.
When we can get aligned with ourselves, you want to stay aligned with yourself because you live in purpose. You live in purpose. You live in happiness. I tell my clients, I want to help you create a life that you live and love so much that it doesn't matter.
You're speaking my language.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We call that being in your alignment to your assignment.
Do we still call it that?
I don't know. I do. I like
that's
it.
fine.
I know. I still.
That's fine. That's fine.
I got it from.
I'm not going to say anything about it.
I got it from Tim's story, but I like it. It's
Yeah.
good. It's good stuff
Sure is.
because it's all about purpose.
Yeah.
Purpose to me there are two extremely important keys to life. They're life hacks. And if everybody had just these two keys, there's other ones, but these two keys are so important. And one is God for me.
100.
It is number one, the most important life hack. You know, and I'm not talking about religion when I talk about God. I'm talking about God.
Connection.
And number two is knowing your purpose. Those two keys are the biggest life hacks to inner peace, happiness, and fulfillment. It has nothing to do with money, anything else. But when you have those two things, this is my purpose right here. Mm-hmm. Everything, my life. I was, and it's weird because like God showed me my purpose back in 1996 when I got sober the first time, and he introduced me to recovery. I stumbled like grasping it many times. But when I'm actually living it, it is the best life that I've ever lived.
100%.
And that is what I feel everything you just said is what you're trying to get your clients to find.
Yes.
And if we can be that life hack to help them find it, how beautiful is that?
That is our purpose. I mean, even with your story, you know, I take it back. I wanted to be a teacher since I was 5 years old. 5. Like I didn't like dolls. I didn't play with dolls. None of that. My mom would just give me pen and paper and I was so content. But through life and through just what society tells me I should do and be, I went away from that, you know? And now you look so many years later and what am I doing? I teach people.
You're teaching.
I knew from when I was little, before society could tell me what I should and shouldn't do, what's going to create money and happiness. I knew it. I had to go back to it.
You did become a teacher.
Right. I did.
Yeah, but I'm going to be so bold and say that everyone's purpose is to help somebody. I'm going to say 99%. I'm going to just not even say, if someone ever tells me.
It's 100.
It's 100. If someone tells me I can't find my purpose, I don't care who they are. I tell them you have to help someone.
Yeah.
Everybody.
And there are so many different little
Ways to help.
niches
And ways to help.
to
exactly.
help somebody.
100%.
So that opens up a door. But yes, I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
Our purpose in life is to serve God and others.
Yeah.
That is literally like it. It's that simple. We complicate everything because we're whatever. But if you sit down in the morning and you just have a little meditation time and a little bit of prayer and you say, hey, God, whatever you put in front of me, that's what I'm going to do today. All of a sudden he starts putting the things in front of you that are your purpose.
That's it. When you're open to it, right?
Yes.
When I got sober, every day, if I couldn't sit and do a prayer, it was, God, just allow me to be a vessel today. I didn't know what that looked like early on. I didn't know I was going to be a therapist. I didn't know I was going to do podcasting and then come out publicly to my community. I didn't envision any of this. I just one day at a time, just got, allow me to be a vessel, allow me to be a vessel, you know? And it was probably about 2 years ago when I was meditating and it came to me. It was like, my purpose is a lot larger than a community I never fit into. And the reason I wasn't sharing is because I was trying to fit into somewhere I didn't fit into. And when I realized my purpose was larger, that's when I was able to do that, right? And then fully live in more alignment. I was living in alignment, but be able to fulfill the purpose to a different level now.
Love it. I love that. I get out of alignment all the time.
Don't we all though?
Yeah.
I rarely do.
Really? You just stay on the loop. So it's a circular thing. You're always on alignment.
Been in a few of those too.
You haven't been in a loop. You have actually not ever been in the loop.
I know. I keep getting PTSD from the word loop.
I know. Every time it says that, like we've actually been through the loop.
The loop is
literally
in Orange County, California.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It is
jail.
It is the spot where I got sober though.
Never been there.
It is the best detox center.
Yes, it is.
Look, I own treatment centers.
Yeah.
Hope by the Sea is my baby. It's my flagship. I love it. I think it's an amazing program. But our detox center is not as good as 550 North Flower Street. You want to know why?
Why?
because people can ACA from mine. They can leave against clinical and or medical advice. At that one, I was not allowed to leave.
Yeah.
You know, I was even when I was medically stable.
I'm ready to go now.
They were like, "No, you're not. You got some other stuff you need to answer for." But I really I believe that.
Yeah.
It was a good, and I think that we're doing people a disservice today by giving them a little citation for having drugs on them and shooting up on the side of the street over here. We're doing them a disservice.
You see that new law they're trying to put back into 36 now to kind of like change that a little bit.
I don't know. Is it a good law?
Yeah, well, I mean, it looks like if there's like multiple offenders of possession, it'll now be a felony instead of continuing just to give them a citation.
Yeah. Because they're not getting.
Looks like it
there's
might
no
work.
if there's no consequences, there's no change in behavior.
Absolutely. I mean, how did we all get here? There's consequences.
There was consequences.
Absolutely.
So you were in Orange County, and what happened? It's like life just fell apart. You called your dad, and what did he say? What was his final saying? Because you left us. We were on a cliffhanger.
Dun, dun. No. So then my siblings came. They're like, "What the hell's going on?" I'm the youngest of three. They're like, what's really happening? And I was like, "No, really, guys, I need some help." And so then they were like, "Well, if you're serious, come on back home." And I said, "Okay, I'll do whatever you want." I literally was like, I was done with that chapter of life.
Yeah.
I had already made that decision.
Hit bottom.
Yeah. So when they said move back home, sure, I'll move back home. Yeah. And so that's what I did. Got into recovery, got into therapy. I hung out with old timers immediately. I picked the oldest sponsor. I wanted somebody who had time, that knew how to do it and do it well and do it successfully.
Yeah.
Because that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really attracted to people my age at all. I didn't do the young people things at all. My friends were 15, 20 years older than me, and I didn't care. But it was that support system that allowed me to get the healing, the health, the direction I needed to live in alignment. And it was interesting because I was also then toggling I had two different separate social communities, right? I had people my age. They had no idea what I was doing. But then I had my sobriety community who knew everything I was doing. They knew everything about me for a really long time. I wasn't ready to share it because I didn't want to say anything or do anything that would jeopardize my recovery. I didn't want anybody's opinions, and I was very fragile early on. I was still getting like confident in it, right? So yeah, I kept it very separate.
Tyson, how was your recovery? You had recovery here? Where did you get
Sober?
Yeah.
I got sober in Orange County.
Orange County? Where does
Yeah.
your family live?
My family lives in Orange County.
Are they supportive?
Very supportive. Very supportive.
Chad, how about yours? Same. I know that. Don't even have to fucking answer that, bro.
I see where he's going with
Do you?
Yeah.
Where am I going?
that. Family,
Super.
having family support is
that's the big one.
Is huge.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's almost
absolute though.
No,
I don't want to say that because there's so many people.
Why not?
Because
say
there's
when they enable, it gets dicey.
Enabling is not good. And also there are these families in my 22 years of experience, parents have dropped their children off here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, fix them. And I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
Okay. And so my way of fixing them is teaching them how to become independent.
Mm-hmm.
And then I fix them, and then the family's upset with me because now this person doesn't need them anymore. So it's always not necessary, and you can find it. You can actually pick your friends. You can pick a new family.
That's where we were going.
Absolutely.
That's where you were going?
Absolutely. So I had women who mothered me very early on and nurtured me like my mom couldn't.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Of course.
It's not that she wouldn't or there was anything, but she didn't know how.
It's a different nurture.
It's different.
Yeah.
They loved me unconditionally when I didn't love myself or when I was super flawed, right? They gave me things without anything in return. It was unconditional love. That's what it is, right? Growing up, when you do this, you get praise. When you do that, you get praise. When you look this way, you get praise. But this was, you didn't have to perform. to just get unconditional love. That's where healing happens.
Yes.
That's that human connection. That's that giving back. Why? Because we're connecting with others. When you give to somebody else, you're showing them unconditional love. And I think that is a key foundation. So it doesn't have to look like your own blood family, right? I always say you just need a community.
You need a community.
You need a community.
Community.
It can be people from all different areas of your life.
Yep.
But you can bring them together. It's your community.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to look a certain way.
You know, the only time every single community that I have in my life collided was on my 50th birthday. They all came together to celebrate my half of a century. That's a long damn time, dude.
This guy's still alive. We're coming.
Yeah. And they all collided, you know, like
Yeah.
my recovery community, my work life, my regular family. It's pretty awesome. And you can have, like you said, multiple different communities. And you know, the beauty of today's world is there are so many different ways to recover. You just need to heal. I'm a 12-stepper, and I think the 12 steps are such a beautiful guideline to heal.
Yes, we need structure.
We need that structure.
Accountability.
It's literally, and I want to go back before I finish what I'm saying, and I don't know if I'll be able to remember this, but
I'll remind you.
it's so, no, you won't.
I know I won't.
It's so funny to me because, you know, we've got all these doctors and scientists studying addiction and all the things, the brain and this and that. And man, I have to tell you, Bill W. and them got it right from the beginning. There's nothing wrong with our brain. We are very sensitive people. We have a spiritual malady that only spirituality can fix. You know, and that's where the healing has to begin. Was with, and that's why the 12 steps are so beautiful. I'm not saying that people can't get it without God. They can get it with community. They can get it with whatever. Is it as purposeful and lasting? I don't know, because I'm not one of those people. I only know that I find my true purpose through God. And I always like to state that, like, I'm never talking about religion when I talk about God, because some people think that if I am talking about God, that I'm talking about Jesus, and maybe I am. Maybe that's
Jesus Christ.
Maybe that's my God,
Right.
you know.
It's not my God.
But it's not. It's not Shane's.
No, it's not.
Shane
Is it yours? What's
Shane,
your God?
Shane is Jewish, and that's it. That
It's a tough time to be Jewish. No, I'm joking.
thought you were like, that's
it's
tough.
always a tough time to be Jewish, baby. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking 4,000 or 5,000 years now. We're waiting for a break.
you know.
We're waiting for a fucking break here. Let's go.
His mom probably gets mad at me if I say that, if she watches the podcast.
No, she doesn't.
She doesn't?
No.
Because I'm like proud that he's Jewish.
Yeah.
Like, whatever somebody's religion is, I'm like, great.
Israel
Good.
and India just made a huge contract. Huge contract.
Good.
Yeah.
What about
They're good-
Israel
they're good
and
friends.
Iran? Did they make a big contract?
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna. I
think Israel just blew up $1.8 billion and melted 2,000 pounds of gold.
Who did?
Israel did.
Oh, and
They bombed the money part.
Wow.
Yeah, 1.8 billion and 2,000 pounds of gold melted into the ground. That's what they say.
well, okay.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know why we got politics.
Religion.
That was actually religion.
That was real.
That-
was it?
yeah, it's really not.
Nisha
politics.
knows to be very quiet with those subjects.
Yeah.
Oh, just listening. Religion. Well, he asked me like what my religion was, and then he was like, "Uh oh." Well,
Yeah,
no.
and then he
I was
went
raised in a Hindu home,
Hindu, yes.
but I don't practice it as a Orthodox Hindu would.
Yeah.
That's the best way to say it. Like, my mom and I have had these great discussions, and I'll share that. It's like, you know, she'll be like, "You have to pray a certain way," and like, it's very methodical. And if you do it wrong, it's like wrong. And I remember I'm like, "Mom," it was some holiday, and she was like, "Well, did you do it like this?" I said, "No, but I did it." And you know what my God told me? He said, "Good job, because you did it."
Who is the Hindu god?
So it's Brahma's like the main god, and then there's different reincarnations
Okay.
of that god, right? That show up to reflect different things in life. And so I told her, I was like, my God, we sit down and we hang out and we talk, and I can do it my way, and that's okay. And then I listen and I asked my mom, I was like, do you listen to God? Or do you just talk to God? And, she's like, I should pray all the time. And I was like, okay, well, maybe listen one day. I don't know.
That's nice.
Maybe.
Good for you.
Everyone's
going to find their way.
Yeah. And you know what? Whatever works for that specific individual is.
It's what's in your heart in the end.
I just,
Exactly.
the only reason why I preface
There's
stuff
no
like
way.
that is because I actually, I grew up Christian. And the Christian religion that I grew up in was very scary.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very judgmental. And I found Narcotics Anonymous, and I basically found the same God that I always knew and prayed to, but I have a different vision of that God now, that he's not the vision that they told me he was, and that he was going to put me in eternal damnation for all of the sins that I've done and all of that stuff. No, it was this God was the one that could love me despite all those things happening.
Put it
Or
on air conditioning.
Despite.
Despite.
You're the
just
one with
gave
the
me
college
chills.
degree, okay?
Hey.
Unconditional love.
Unconditional love.
But that gave me chills because that's the same story. It's my relationship with God that changed, right?
Yes.
My view of God.
Yep.
God didn't have to be something scary. It didn't have to be right, wrong.
Yeah.
Accept me as I am.
Yep.
And I think that's what we get stuck on. We get stuck on the words, right? Power greater than yourself. Sure. The universe, Mother Nature, whatever you want to call it.
Doesn't matter.
Does not matter.
My sponsor was like, hey, go stand in front of that wave over there. And if it knocks you down, that's a power greater than you.
There you go.
And I was like, you're right.
You are right. I want to go on to your hypnotherapist. Chad has a problem. It's
Don't tell her about that one.
okay. Now he's potentially.
So I have two therapy sessions after this.
He keeps bringing up thinking about starting vaping again. Now, can you? Is there something you could put him under? Is there a thing you could do to make him stop thinking about maybe going back to vaping?
Why do you want to start vaping again?
Because everybody around here vapes and it smells so good.
You're a hypnotherapist.
Just
so
just
then-
keep
Put 'em-
smelling it. Don't smoke it.
It's just like, And then I remember how it felt.
Uh-huh. Keep going. Uh-huh. You'll see.
I like her.
She's got him. She's got him.
You're gonna make
The
me play. You're
feeling.
gonna make me play the videotape all the way
You're
through.
chasing the feeling. Why not? Why not? Do it for them. This is great.
to the people.
To the people. This is for the people.
Okay.
Play the tape through. Yeah, the feeling. You're
Yeah.
chasing the feeling. What feeling?
It's a reduction in anxiety. Mm-hmm. That's produced by the effects of nicotine. Now, I do want to say that.
Wait a second. I thought nicotine created anxiety.
Well, that's it's kind of like
Stimulant.
It's kind of like it reduces anxiety until those receptors are empty from the nicotine. Then it causes more anxiety than you had before you ever had the nicotine in your body.
So it'd be a better idea to not do the nicotine
Yeah.
for anxiety relief.
And
Yes.
choose some flavored bubble gum.
Does it-
Strawberry. What would you like?
I don't know. Does
Lemon.
that have red dye 35?
We'll find some with none. There's a brand out there, simple something. I forgot what it's called.
Natural
the
gum.
white box with the the mint on it. See, I can visually see it. I don't know what it's called.
The world's most expensive gum. I was just watching the other day. This is weird coincidences these last few days with me. Because
hope
he
you're
mentioned
praying.
gum. He mentioned gum, and there's a crazy gum. Just look
He
up the world's
mentioned
most
gum.
expensive gum and where it's made. I forget where it's made.
What does it do?
Why is it expensive?
It helps your teeth. It fights cavities and it builds.
He saw this on TikTok.
Trident has remarketed, guys.
And it fights cavities and it builds enamel and things like that.
How much is a pack?
I don't know. I didn't go that far. Again,
Does it have nootropics?
I
in it?
went to 7 seconds. I went and don't ask what I just ordered.
nootropics.
No, yeah.
Some Cali muscle gum.
Oh no, better Joe Rogan stuff.
So this one. So you're not allowed to have it.
No,
on a
no.
podcast.
Pretend I didn't say anything. I'm going to be using it
So
every day.
before Natalie joined our podcast as one of the hosts, it was just Shane and I. We started it, just to be the voice for the people that have lost their lives. Anyway, We had this guy, Callie Muscle, on. He gave Shane some gum that had caffeine and nootropics in it. And all of a sudden, he starts chewing it during the podcast. And he started taking over the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the host. I'm the host. Yeah. And he would grab his mic and he'd lean forward to the guest. And he would just be sitting there just talking to the guest. And I'm like...
The nootropics took over. I'm not gonna lie, they're powerful.
Whoa.
They're really good.
And the guest would turn towards him.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
the guest.
Dude.
Yeah.
Nootropics give you energy?
A brain
just
clarity.
Okay, got it.
Just wanting to be involved, talking, focus, questions.
I think the caffeine gave him the...
mixed together.
Yeah, with the nootropics.
What's the Joe Rogan stuff? I never take this before in a fight or a thing.
Alpha Brain?
Yes. That's what I ordered. Alpha.
I've taken Alpha Brain.
B-Rain.
And?
Works great.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. That's the new thing, bro.
I've tried everything. Dihex. I got to stop doing that. I keep getting calls from this certain company that says, just up your Dihexa. Just up it.
At $1,100 a bottle, I can't afford to up it. Send us some more.
No.
Where were
Peptides.
Yes.
Yes.
What do you think about peptides? Because Dihexa is a peptide.
Mm-hmm. I have friends that have used peptides. I've not used them myself. They swear by them.
I swear by them.
Yep.
Yeah, especially BPC 157. And what's the other one, Shane? It's called the
TB 500.
It's called the Wolverine.
TB 500. Yeah.
Man, if you're a workout person and you have any
Fatigue,
injuries, mostly for me injuries, I was using it all the time, but I was like, wait a minute, I'm gonna stop using it and only use it if I have an injury. So currently I have like an injury in my shoulder. So I just take the BPC 157, inject it right into the injury. It heals you 10 times as fast.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
The Wolverine. I do the whole Wolverine.
Yeah, so do I.
I also do Testmorlin. What else?
GHKCU, no?
No.
I do for my skin.
I keep it pretty chill. I do the glutathione. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, my blood work went from like high blood pressure, all this bad stuff, to perfect blood pressure, perfect blood work, perfect blood pressure, no Western medicine. Meds.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Also changed my diet to all organic, single ingredient food.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan of that. Especially like even like where I buy my eggs. You ever like go to like just a regular grocery store, buy some eggs, some white ones that have been sitting on the shelf for a while. They also send those eggs back, and those eggs could be like a year old. And you go and you crack them, and they're just yellow, like
pale,
pale.
Not yeah.
Mm-hmm. I cracked an egg this morning. It was this brown egg that had I cracked it. It was like I almost like took a picture of it because it was dark orange.
Yeah.
And that's
what it's supposed to be.
It's like a burnt orange. It's fresh.
Yep. Yeah. I think all of that stuff is such a big help for our mental health.
I agree. I mean, you can tell a difference. Who said dye? Red dye and hyperactivity. Same thing. Sugar. Same thing. In our house, I did a 2-week challenge with my children. My older one's pretty hyper. And I was like, okay, for 2 weeks, let's not have sugar. Let's see what happens with our brains. Let's see. Because I swore, I was like, honey, you get wonky brain.
What did you do to keep them off the sugar in those 2 weeks?
So processed sugar. So they didn't have any cookies, no candy, no syrup, nothing.
Did you replace it with anything?
Mm-mm. Okay. I just said that I also wouldn't eat dark chocolate at night because that's my thing. I love dark chocolate, 80, 90. And so I was like, I won't do that either. If we can do it for 2 weeks, then we'll get a trip to Target and the whole family. But the whole family's going to commit. Unless it's the weekend and it's somebody's birthday party, then you can have cupcakes. Go for it. So week 1 went by. We were okay. It's somebody's birthday party. And my daughter's like, Mom. I said, go for it. Yeah. Okay. And we didn't have any tantrums that week. She came home after having half a cupcake on the floor, discombobulated. Yeah. And she didn't know why. And I was like, what is wrong with you? I don't know, Mom.
Oh,
like, do
wow.
you think it's the sugar? And I knew if she felt the difference, she would start making better choices herself.
Yeah.
She needs to not only know why, but she needs to feel it. And I was like, you think it's the sugar? And she was like, yeah. And so today she still has sugar. She's a kid. But she thinks twice, like, okay, what am I going to do? How much should I have? Just that difference for her to know to make that choice. So I totally agree. And then she'll even say, like, oh, mom's not going to eat that cake, or mom's. And I was like, well, I choose not to. I could. But then my brain also goes wonky. We have the same brain, honey. So I don't want to. And it helps them make wiser choices. But to see that, just that big difference, crazy.
I agree. My brain goes wonky. I have my weakness is ice cream. Man.
Me too.
Whoa.
What flavors?
Whoa, what do you pour on the ice cream?
World-class chocolate.
Well, sometimes it just depends. Like, what if I get home? Check this out. What if I get home and there's like vanilla bean ice cream in the refrigerator, and my wife has just gone to Crumble Cookies, and there's Crumble Cookies right there, and there's Trader Joe's syrup, chocolate syrup.
You're making a sundae.
You know what I'm doing? and some what do you call the whipped cream?
Whipped cream.
Oh man, I'm about to put down. I'm not even joking you. At least 2,000 calories in one little sitting, because as soon I don't eat sugar, but as soon as I eat sugar, I can't stop eating sugar.
You want more and more. Yeah.
It's a drug.
I will eat a whole cookie from Crumble, which I think those are 800 calories.
Those are good.
Themselves.
Those are good.
Yeah, they're about this big. Get some ice cream, chocolate syrup. And I'm just like, what I'm doing is like, I'm just going to have a couple bites is what I tell myself. So what I do is I'll take a dip of the ice cream. I'll take a little piece of the cookie. I'll put it on top, and then I'll put the syrup on, and I'll take a bite. And then I'm like, I'll just have a little bit.
Yeah.
Yesterday, my mom came and dropped me off.
Oh, yeah. How'd that go?
I mean, I took it home to Donna.
Yeah.
Well, when I got home, Donna was getting a massage. My wife, she was getting a massage. And I was like, I'll just have a little piece. Because my mom brought this cinnamon roll fresh from like a store. It was like about this big.
Yeah.
Well, she also told them to get some extra icing from the back. So I'm like taking that thing and I'm dipping it in the icing. Bro, I left her a piece
I knew it.
about this big.
The centerpiece?
Yes.
That's the best piece.
At least you left her the center.
That's the best
That is a
piece.
good one.
I mean, yeah, I could have started with the center right and gone out.
That's usually how I start.
Yeah, same.
Straight to the center.
Same.
So, we get off track a lot around here, especially when Natalie's.
How long you
here
married?
Almost 12 years.
Good for you.
Yeah.
How old are the kids?
5 and 8.
Oh, nice. Your parents, I'm sure they're very proud.
Yeah.
That's amazing. See, that's nice.
5 and 8, and you have both girls?
Yeah, I have 2 girls. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
It is going to be.
It's gonna get even more interesting.
I know. But they talk, so that's
Yeah,
I
it'd be
keep
more
on
interesting
talking.
if you were married 18 years and had 3 kids, but that's me. I'm
What's
joking. I
what's
was
so
teasing. No, I was
interesting
teasing.
about it?
Nothing at all, actually. 0.
What?
0.
It can't be that much of a bore.
She's literally a therapist, bro.
Honestly, it's a great life. It's just a great, peaceful 18 years. It's just, we're in something. We're in a rhythm. You know, when you get in
No.
a rhythm. You know, when you have a 5-year-old and a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old?
There is no rhythm. That is the rhythm.
There's the rhythm.
There's none.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's chaos all day.
Yep.
It's chaos.
The only
I
important
come to
thing,
work for peace.
The only
I
important
love
thing,
my
what I'll
work.
tell you
Yes,
is
I do.
no matter what, what makes a good marriage is the commitment to continue on with your marriage despite anything that happens. I mean, obviously you can have some like you do this and that's not
Right.
good. But yeah, man. I was going to ask you, I wanted to get into your professional career here to kind of close this out
Sure.
because I want to know more about what you do for a living.
Yes. So therapy, I've been doing it for over 8 years. I specialize in DBT, which is dialectical behavior therapy. Works with people that suffer from like generalized anxiety all the way to those that self-harm or even those that have tried to commit suicide before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wide variety of population. And then I do hypnotherapy, which we kind of went down that track a little bit. I have found it effective. And the reason I started doing hypnotherapy and Reiki was because I found that a lot of times, especially those that have trouble putting words to their emotions or their feelings or things that happen, these are different therapies that give them a way of doing it. You know, for example, with hypnotherapy, it's you get someone down to a meditative state to where their prefrontal is not on circuit, right?
Yeah.
And so they're actually able to process emotions or events from a relaxed state and able to gain healing through that. And the great thing about hypnotherapy is you also, because I record some of the session, so whatever the new learnings are, the new habits we're trying to put in place, they have a recording to listen to as a meditation. Twice a day, 14 days is what I tell my clients. I usually prefer for them to see actual changes, behavioral changes, or even just emotional changes to occur. And that's licensed professional counselor. So then now I'm a sobriety coach. Yay. I have been helping people in sobriety, but now I'm doing it more in a professional setting, as well as doing things like this, spreading purpose and just letting people know that there's solution out there, right? I want to show people that healing is possible. It's not one way. Absolutely not. You can go your own path. You can be curious for years. It's not wrong. It's not bad. It's what's for you. And then, and I do public speaking. I'll do corporate workshops as well. So that is my professional life.
Do you have any fear of public speaking?
I used to. Oh my gosh. So in college, I took a course how to speak in public.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a panic attack. My first, I couldn't even talk. I was crying and hyperventilating. And I remember I went back and emailed. You're like, what? And I went back and emailed the professor. I was like, can I try again? Because
During the engagement, you were crying.
During.
Nice.
My
No, you
presentation.
failed. Never come back again. This
got,
class is not for you.
I think I got an A-.
How do people find you?
But they can find me on Instagram, Nisha Patel Coaching, or they can go to my website, theniche.com. And that's where you can find me.
The niche.
I like that.
Niche. Yes.
I like that.
It's about finding your niche.
Oh, I really like that.
Play on me, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the spelling the same as the word niche, or is it N-I-S-H?
N-I-S-H-E.
Okay, cool.
Niche is S-C-H?
C-H-E. N-I-C-H-E.
N-I-C-H-E? Mm-hmm. Niche. Chad. Chad. That's my name.
So you live out here?
No, I'm from Atlanta.
Oh, so you live in Atlanta?
Where you
Yes.
been?
Oh, nice.
Oh, no, he wasn't here.
He wasn't here. So I'm visiting from Atlanta.
Right on. Good for you.
Yeah.
Who are you visiting?
I'm visiting some family out in Anaheim, and then I've actually got a mental health gala tomorrow for Jiva Mental Health, which is a South Asian nonprofit.
Wow.
Awesome.
I know.
Nice. Good for you.
Thank you. I know it's a fun trip.
Nice.
Family and work and play.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on and dealing with us crazies.
Mrs.
It's been
Patel,
so much
thank
fun,
you for
guys.
coming.
Thank you.
Wait.
Yeah.
What?
No, I'm not going to ask this on air. We're good. All right.
All right. Good.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks.
Goodbye.